We're going to start the meeting, guys. Don's not here, so Mitch is going to go ahead and get everything started on our end. And obviously you have your committee here to get started.
Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to this rather unusual meeting of the Fire Station Building Committee. I'm Mitch Cohen and I'll call the Fire Station Building Committee meeting to order. Our only purpose for meeting today is to review some what look like very nice outdoor exterior materials and ask some questions. I know the Design Review Committee is here. Do you need to call yourself for order, or were you continuing?
We're already in order, so
Okay.
we can continue in this.
So you're just continuing in the new place.
Excellent.
Excellent, and that's all. And we will not be voting on anything or anything like that today. But go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay. So thanks everybody for coming, and please come around. Come
closer.
Come look at things. But we are going to stand the materials up vertical in a minute so that you can see, but I want to explain a little bit about what you're looking at, and we have a couple of drawings to show you. You guys have been looking at renderings where we've had sort of neutral colors that we've been presenting to you over and over again until we got to this point where we could show you some materials. I know Janet's talked to you about a little bit about the process that we went through. We started with the brick. We took a tour of your buildings in town. We heard from the committee and the community that you were really interested in a red brick, nothing that was orange in color. And so we took a tour around and looked at some of your existing red brick buildings. We asked if there was anything that anyone on the committee thought we should look at. We looked at some of those buildings that were suggested to us. There were some that stood out to us. We had a masonry rep that we were working with, and we had her come out here, take a tour of the buildings, and look to see what she thought, so that she could reference that as she pulled some different options together for us. Over the course of probably a month, she came by 3 or 4 times to our office, probably with 100 different brick samples that we looked at to narrow it down to what we're showing you today. We've got 3 different options for the red brick, and then we've got some brown and some tan colors that would be that contrasting masonry that you've seen in the elevations so far. And the renderings we've got, we'll show you what those look like. And then we've got some metal options that we'll talk about. So maybe we just start, I think this is going to be a bit windy, yes, and interactive. So these are the, we can try, they kept blowing over.
Okay, I'll hold it.
I'll stay behind it.
You hold that one, I'll hold this one.
Okay.
Same level. Okay, so on each of these boards you see two different color options. It's very subtle, so you're going to want to come up and really take a look. But here's like option 1, option 2. These are option 1, option 2, option 1, 2, 1, 2, the different views. So you see we've got, I'll pull this, sorry, down so that we can look a little bit closer. But what we've got is the red brick, and then this shows the brown colors of the accent brick at the base, and then the banding around the building that you've been seeing, the arches all in that darker color. This one shows the red brick with the lighter colors, and that's what we're showing in each of these renderings, is the contrast between the 2 of them, so you can get an idea of what it would look like on the building. For each of the buildings, we're showing a very narrow stone base, just sort of 1 course high, that sort of anchors the building, gives it the feeling that it's sort of sitting on the ground. It's a feature that you see in a lot of old historic buildings. And we brought some limestone samples to show you what that would look like. We can hold that up and look at the how that looks with the different brick options. And then we've got some different metals that we want to look at. We talked about the roof being standing seam metal. That would be a coated product. We've got some samples for that. And then we've got some metal windows and metal doors, and then metal accent pieces around the doors under the arches, and a few other little metal accent pieces on the tower and up around the building. Sorry, about the windows at the top of the tower there. So we can look at those too. So we also have to show you some handouts to talk a little bit and give you some different ideas about how this metal looks in use. So we've got some examples of some standing seam metal like with the detailing. You can get a sense of what the roof edge would look like with gutters going across, with snow guards that help create friction so that the snow doesn't slide off the roof and protects the gutters and protects landscape and people going by. And then metal. So let's talk a little bit about metal here. We've got a couple different kinds of metal that we're showing you here. In the cost estimate, we priced out those metal accent pieces being zinc. These are zinc samples here. And then we've also, as an alternate, we priced out doing an aluminum composite metal material, and we've got some samples of that here. That's what all of these are. These are actually aluminum made to look like zinc. So in some cases it's very close to the zinc. In some cases there's quite a bit of difference in the way they look. One of the challenges that we have on this project is that it's a publicly bid project. So for any publicly bid project, we can't say that it's going to be material A by this manufacturer in this color. We have to offer competition out to the marketplace. So we have to specify for any material that we put in the building, we have to specify at least 3 equal products. So even if you decide that you like, this color, which is by this manufacturer, we have to either find other options by other manufacturers that are close enough to this, and they may not be exactly this color, or we have to look at specifying a custom color to get what you want. So there's some complications with the public bid laws that we can talk about as we look at the different materials, but it's a challenge, especially when you get into materials like these, which are the look-alike zinc products. So for example, if you liked this zinc, but you decided you wanted to go with an aluminum look-alike, these are 2 different manufacturers, and these are their 2 different versions of that material, and they're very different, you can see, very different. And so that becomes a real challenge with the public bid law. You get close, but you don't always get exactly what you want. We can talk about that a little bit. The metal that we're showing in some of these details, has a lot of bends and folds and joints. We're trying to make it look very traditional. I know a lot of people are used to seeing sort of slick metal buildings, and that was never the design intent. The design intent was to try to replicate something that you would see on a historic building. And that's where I'm hoping some of these images will give you a sense of what we're talking about. So here are some options of formed metal, and you can see here, this is a contemporary building that actually Mark worked on in another office, and that's built recently, but it's with metal, and it's made to look like a historic bay detail. And you can do that with metal. We brought some samples of metal panel and how they could be bent. They're really easy in the field or in shops to bend in different ways to get the different looks that you want, so that we can treat it in a more a less modern and contemporary way and slick, like you're used to seeing on some other buildings. This is metal as well that's just bent. You can see they route it on the back so that they can take away some of the back material that gives it stiffness, and then they can bend it in all different ways to achieve the look that you want. And it can also be formed in the shop. This, is a historic replication. It's not a historic detail. It's something that was built recently, formed in the shop, welded with stiffeners and all, to create a look. So I know there's been some concern about metal, but I think what we like about the metal is that it's a durable material. We wouldn't, for a municipality, want to put wood up there that needs to get painted, that has the opportunity to rot. You want something that really is going to stand the test of time, that's going to be really low maintenance for the fire department, not something that they have to worry about maintaining every year. This is also some other details with metal. Some of these, this one is one, you worked on that one as well.
Yes.
You did. Another detail that Mark worked on in another office with how metal can be bent and formed into these different shapes to get different reveals and depth. This is a very contemporary image, but what it shows you, it's this material, and it shows you again how the metal can be bent in different ways to get it on different planes and really create the depth. So in a way it could look like what you would expect from an old house, having a flat panel with wood trim around it, but you do it on metal to have the longevity. So you can come and take a look at some of these and talk about them a little bit. You can hold them up. As Janet said, the best way to look at these materials is to look at them the way you're going to look at them on a building, which is, you know, upright and turn them. The main facade of the building is going to face this way, so we want to look at them in that light, and we can talk a little bit more about the different materials. If we decide to go with the zinc for some of the paneling, we would still need to pick some paint colors for the metal windows. It just so happens this manufacturer, these are for standing seam metal roof, but it's the same colorway for the windows for the window manufacturer, and a lot of the manufacturers do color matching. Either the window guys just sort of do it for no charge. Some of the metal panels, there's a small upcharge, but if there's a color you really want, and again, if you want to try to deal with the public bid and different manufacturers having different colors, then that's probably the easiest way to do it, is to just pay this very small upcharge. It's, you know, we talked to somebody for $50,000 for the color matching for the metal.
For the metal panel.
Yeah, it was very small in the grand scheme of the project. So should we hold some stuff up and take a look?
Yeah, so let's face it out towards the road, in my opinion. That's the
And we can look.
We can put some chairs, we can turn some chairs around.
Oh, maybe that's the thing to do, maybe, is to take the chairs and turn those around.
Yeah.
We just turn these around with light.
It's not a definite thing. It just happens.
Okay, just checking. Of course, as soon as you do it, the sun goes behind the cloud.
It's okay.
It's okay, that's the way you're gonna...
It's primarily a north facade. So north is like, Mark, am I right? North is that way or that way?
The north is
There. Yeah, not bad. So,
Yeah, this one. I had one last night. Tomorrow night.
We're talking about, okay, the first part was the rest of it was temporary.
So these two are the same.
The difference is that this one has an occasional dark brick. And actually, this one I think is more similar to this. You see how this has some cool stripings in it? This is more of a warm tone. So the warm tones, you know, we were liking them more with the lighter. Although some of them work quite well.
part of the way.
Oh, just walk right up and look at it.
You're going to look
Touch it.
right up your jaw and get a picture.
Yeah.
So when you get into this kind of work, you never know who's, when they're putting it up, where they throw that piece in.
Yeah, I mean, part of that becomes oversight. They have to make sure that it gets distributed well, and yeah.
So I've even seen some of the two dialogues with the dialogue change. Here.
Yeah.
So as much as I like how
You prefer the light or the dark?
You can specify things in the specs as to how things get distributed. And then it's up to you and the OPM site to confirm as the
And you reject
I don't know if I like the lighter banding or the darker banding. That's the one I don't know.
I know. I don't know if I...
That's hard. I don't know if I like the lighter or the darker.
Maybe not.
You can still see the color.
right. You put it in writing, and then before construction starts, for every trade, you have a pre-construction conference, So you all get the trailer together and you say, this is what I'm going to be looking for, and you have that dialogue. So
Yeah.
well, you know, here's whatever the issue is. From my perspective, you talk it through and you work it out. So that's about field oversight at that point. So the limestone would be that base that we were talking about. It's this piece right here.
Okay.
So it would just be there, and then
Is that a natural limestone or cast?
it's a natural one.
Lavender furs, as opposed to the purple one. So if you talk about the color, you have to go with low bid.
That one in her hand over there.
Capability, or
So
say Connie,
I'd like the lighter contrast.
So what your best bet
When I'm
then?
looking at this building, this
There's one that you like.
stands
We've
out
done
to
that
me.
before. We say the basis.
I'm jumping back and forth. I love this. Yeah, I love this difference here.
Yeah, because it's a nice contrast, which is, that's what you're getting here is a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Don't notice this, but what's more important is the main line.
you recommend to
Yeah, yeah.
much, I don't know. Like looking at just at the materials, I know that sounds difficult. I don't know cost. I prefer to
That
get
wouldn't be bad. That actually wouldn't be bad if you did it here. Because it would take the contrast back.
talking about we take the limestone, some rock thing, and bring that and solid all the way across at that level.
You think $8,000
Well, it
on
doesn't have to be solid. It could be
Yeah, you
just
would
the
have
stripe.
that.
It would just be the stripe.
Yeah, just what was on. Oh, so a second strike.
Yeah, second stripe.
Oh, a second strike.
Right.
Limestone, does that add a lot of cost?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm not an architect. I said it.
it's a small amount. I don't see this.
Well, yeah, because
I just didn't know, like, if it's like, you know, sometimes you put grain in it.
You're suggesting a small band.
I'll be like, I don't see a difference.
color together to match was a challenge.
I thought you guys were going all the
Everybody
way.
was able to do it except for one. Believe it or not, the louver was a little bit off, but it was in a shadow on a north elevation.
Well, this is a special shape.
Oh, so like rounded, like a,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right, I apologize. I'm going to take off.
Okay.
Sit, one remark and you're gone.
I have to go get my daughter.
I go back to
I like
this.
I think it really pops out. I really like that more than I don't know.
I agree.
But I like this. It's hard.
They do change.
the sun and then,
This band up here.
So these are all a roof.
Yeah, so again, you're noticing your eyes being caught to the
roof and wall panels. But we've been working with EFCO, and EFCO says that they
so small.
match it.
But when you're looking at that building,
all the same system.
All used, yeah, with floor
Block or something.
So Mark, this one here, this brick here, and that's,
Well, a similar.
how about the red? That's that one.
And the
Yeah, that's
folding door companies
And then
don't have
this
standard
is
colors, they
this
just
part.
use RAL.
We can still.
A really wide range.
and then the last one that's got the black. See how the black hits
custom
here?
metal. What gauge
Yeah, I
are
don't
you
know if I like them all.
thinking of specifying?
Well, that's the difficult thing because it's not so well.
Some buildings just have too much.
We can control the percentage of variation in the color. That's something that we can request.
And then for the metal.
It's one of the nice things about
But right now, this one is
the
with
panel
you.
because you have that backing built into it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm trying to match this brick and this render. So I mean, really, you should be looking at this.
Yeah, it makes.
Gauge and
It's
But I like that contrast. I think that really.
I think so.
lighter.
I
But
think
it's-
we can probably, there are different strategies we
Hey,
can take.
Tom,
Either.
John. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
You guys like the bigger contrast or the more muted? So far, that's three. Go ahead. What do you think?
Myself.
I like the brown and the red, or the red with the line. I'm not so wild about this.
This one here?
What did you say?
Like, you're talking about like this one here, like this one here. No, see how this comes up here?
So the limestone is more expensive than the brick. Is that correct?
Limestone would be more
It would be more expensive. Yes.
You mean like a limestone everywhere?
Using the limestone as the access. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I'm concerned about cost, and if we're going to be challenged by reducing costs, we need to know the scale
We did
of
have
value.
so the accents were priced out at.
So we had them priced out Ariscraft, which is also actually calcium silicate masonry unit, which Lavon made for it. And the Ariscraft was that was the base number. It was a little less expensive. The problem with the Ariscraft, looking at it in the office, we've used it before, is that they've changed their colorways recently. And when we got the new boards with the new colors, they were not nice at all. They were either very light, which nobody had liked before, or very drab, just asphalt gray, kind of not a lot of it.
So disappointed.
Or very shocking, like very bright red, very bright yellow sort of thing. So it was disappointing. And that's why we moved to the brick palette.
Well, it's only 2 different options, right? So it's the light or the dark. I like the light because
The old town hall painting that is more of a subtle contrast.
Which is what, we were going. It's bright.
So these are the more subtle, sort of harkening back to the old town hall.
I think this one has. This one has the whole. You can see the amount of that, going around the middle.
My wife would be horrified if she knew I was here matching colors. I can't match my clothes. I walk up there. When I wear
Not on
this,
there.
okay?
I don't know what happens if I didn't.
Sometimes, depending where we're going to,
Yeah.
Without the clock in the windows? I do too, because I like the windows. And if you have a light up there, like...
The clock's on it. We're not going to be very popular with a group of people.
I don't think it adds too much
So,
without it.
yeah, and there's a lot of work, we didn't like play with the windows, we have worked on this tower sort of thing, but you can see the variation.
I like the green, brown, and red.
Well, that's the other option, like that's what Amy was saying, is like, when you look at the greens and the grays, like if you're looking at this,
Fenway Park area.
this is the zinc, this kind of green, and these are the, this is the pack lab that's trying to match the zinc, visually. But, that's what you could get. You could get this, or you could get these, which is okay, if that's what you want. And then you have to, no, I don't have a problem with the roof potentially being a different color than the vertical surface, like a gray or a black. It's totally up. So that is the problem in the plus. And it's the thing with
5 colors here.
you can't see, but you could get any of this variety if you went lighter, and that's the zinc, which is gray. So So, you know, you're not going to get, this is pretty horrendous. You know, not pretty, but
So you could have a green, you could have another green guy. So he's filling in. You could have a metal with 2 brick sides.
yeah.
And then the glass will be black.
Right.
So we're talking 6 colors.
You want to kind of pour that into a coat. Yeah.
It's pretty intense. Because the window's going to read black. And this should put lines or shades behind them.
So these are roofs and windows. So this is, and this is pack clad, and I think
They also do metal panel.
and they do the metal panels, right? So, yeah. And what is that? So we not that's a residential grade. You know, it's not gonna happen, but yeah, you know, in that. So you know, that's the greens that are available. So they, you know, they're different. And then these are there's, you know, warmer, and this is the cooler gray. And this is probably, you know, more that lighter gray, but it's a little light. But you know, that's what the gray would be. And we'd be able to do a lot with matching the gray.
Yeah,
too.
and the
you know,
green,
so.
we did have another manufacturer. The Lucabon, we didn't even bring the green because we had one green.
We're limey.
Not good.
We're in the lime world, I think.
And then we had another manufacturer that didn't have a green at all.
So we have to balance trying to match all of these products in the public bid. So, you know, like you could get our
You
hard
have to narrow the selection.
it would be helpful at this point, you know, to know. But I mean, you know, if we decide we want, you know, all this metal to match the windows, the paneling, you know, around there, and even the roof, if we can the baby roof, the roof needs to be the same, then we can custom. That would be the way to go. And we can either try to custom the same. Try to hope us get the green, the right thing, or we have to make sure we're stuck with what we get. So that's my, from what I can do for public bid anywhere. So these are a little warmer, obviously. These are bronze. I'm sure these are bronze. Burnished slate and 18. Look at that. Yeah. Did you go there? You know, it feels so green to me. Yeah, all drab. But it's what's out there for greens, you know, and, or for green. And this is the only one that's going to which sits a little bit separate. These sort of sit a little bit separate. If you really want to go really warm, then you go in that world. That's it.
So they can get an idea.
So you're going to look at it at that elevation.
So we can continue
You'll
with
see, you know, you obviously see it at some other light, but your prime elevation is facing north.
So what window manufacturers are available?
So we've been working with EFCO right now.
And they do both low-E, northern low-E insulated glass, so they do triple glaze.
They do triple glaze for one window. So this is one of the challenges that we're having with the energy code right now is the manufacturers are trying to ramp up to meet the energy code. So there are, at the moment, not a wide range of options. So EFCO we've been talking to, they've got one window that they said will sort of meet the prescriptive values. It will be casement. They don't have any double hung that can be triple glazed. And they were the ones who said that they could color match. And, you know, we're working with EFCO, but there would be equals, you know, with Old Castle and, or YKK or Conair.
So the window manufacturer would really drive
Somewhat.
color,
Shape.
shape, the garage doors, the apparatus doors.
Apparatus doors, yeah, we'll have to work with them.
So they work from an RAL color palette, so it's really wide ranging.
If that was one of our goals, is to have the exterior glazing, the window sashes, and the apparatus doors.
Oh, back. Yeah. That's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah. So we'd have to narrow the color manufacturers so we don't get into these random substitutions for nothing.
Yes, right. But we can control a lot by how we write the spec and we write custom and picking to start with.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, we did this one project where we called for custom. I'm trying to remember what the base was. It was a specific metal panel, but we had a corrugated metal panel, we had a flat metal panel, we had louvers, we had windows. We had to get them all color matched, and it was a metallic, and it came out really nice. I mean, it took some effort, and there were times when we would get submittals from the contractor we had to send back and get a second try, but we got it to work. So it can be done.
The upper tower, windows and metal panel.
Would all match. Would all match. Yeah, that's the goal. And that's the challenge, but it is the goal.
So that's what I would like to see, to be able to control the bidding process, so we don't end up being boxed into a choice that we don't want.
Right. And that's limited, you know.
My experience with color matching is easier to match the grays. Yes, but I don't know. I haven't worked with Shaheen at all, so I have no idea what's going to happen.
Which should be bad. In advance, they improve their color matching quite a bit.
So the dark sash doesn't read as well because the glass will read black. If you look at glass, it reads black. You should put something behind it. So if you lose that the green's not going to pop.
Yeah. Purple glaze, I don't know how the heck they set up the levels there. You know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 surfaces to work with. I don't know if that changes for looking what it'll look like now. I haven't seen one of them yet.
Sometimes you get that purple.
Yeah.
And the light
Yeah. But there's 6 sided now. 6 sides are 6 sides. You know? Boom. It is.
And the challenge, you know, for the color matching, again, I mean, the zinc is beautiful, but that is a bit more of a challenge for color matching. You wouldn't be getting this variation and striation. You would be looking to match it with a solid.
Yeah, or something similar.
Similar.
That's,
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Chief, at some point we have to have a meeting to decide on what path is going to go.
Which we can do it the next, we can make it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
So the next meeting is the
You got it. What do we? Can we go back to the brick? What are you thinking about the brick? Are you comfortable with the brick variations? There's the one that's a little,
27.
creamier, yellow, lighter, and then this one right here. This one has some iron spot in it, or some burnt bricks. And proportionally, you were thinking a little bit more uniform.
Yeah. You know the house. Try not to have.
You don't want to think back to the just so to try to move forward.
give us an idea so we can go.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to go back to.
They are not.
The new site.
We'll get them to make up a board for us eventually with but this, you know, this coloring because it's a town.
Oh, really? Oh, he didn't. Okay, because Andy didn't come.
It's very flat with the north face. It's even has less life to it. We looked at a lot, believe me.
And I think that's, you know, one of the reasons we like this too is that it didn't have quite as much subtle, yeah. And then this one obviously
Because of that. And you know, these are pretty.
they are brown.
And each of the browns is slightly different. They are a little bit more.
Yeah, so that'll
You know, they have a some have more texture.
So there's 2 regular.
Questions, huh?
I don't know which one they
There's been a lot of
So if you have a strip of material, non-combustible, mulch?
Like a-
What do you put around the building?
You're talking like a stone.
Gravel.
Like gravel. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Well, we can talk to the landscape architect what goes like. We've got a lot of bituminous up against the building too. There's a lot.
Sidewalk.
Yeah, less sidewalks,
You have some planting on the west side.
Yeah, yeah.
Sidewalk on the east side.
Yeah, there's the sidewalks, they've got concrete up on the east, there's a lot of and on the north front, but it sort of ends, and then it goes by Toothless. That's, yeah, you can see it here. You can see the line there.
So what are you doing for the windows sill? Is it, you're just doing an accent strip?
No, we're doing the same carpet, that's a roll-off. That's a clear. So
we do have a drip
yes.
proud of the wall, but it's not, we haven't got to that.
No, we're trying to get some shape. So we have, these are, we've got, Amy, you can,
We've got, sorry, Mark, I don't want to.
you want the whole elevation?
What we're showing right now,
Today, no. 27th.
it's kind of hard because it's so small on this, but we've got a soldier course above the windows here. Most of the windows on the second floor sort of hang from the roof. The roof is right there. Along here we've got a soldier course, which would just be the red brick color. And then we've got a row of roll-offs across where the sill is. And then we were proposing a special shape to sort of cap off the band that goes across, and this, you can't see that on this one.
Right there.
If you have a roll-off as a window sill, is it coming proud of the wall and then goes back flush? Or is it going to consistently
I think it's going to be out, some distance. So think of it as a shadow line. Then you'll see a shadow. Well, there was no shadow on the north, but think of it as a shadow line. And then this piece would also be on those. So there's a couple layers of those to get that depth. And then these are recessed right in.
Right, these are recessed courses, and then we've got a water table coming across to give another little projection.
So you have a couple opportunities for that projection, very traditional, brick where you saw a little projection, and then so that's very
as you
standard
move the
stuff.
brick in and out, we're going to get more shadow,
Yes.
more detail.
More detail.
Liven it up.
Yep, exactly.
It's all flat.
Yeah, it's all going to be fun.
It's not all flat. These silver courses, they project out half inch, but they step up.
We have a limit to how far out we can because we're already hanging this brick 6 inches.
We need to do a wall section and look at it.
8. So,
Are you guys doing this in 3D CAD?
pardon me?
Are you doing it in 3D CAD or?
We do our construction documents in Revit, and these are the renderings are done in SketchUp.
So, with the insulation we have to do now and airspace, we're hanging this brick.
So is it a steel stud or is it a concrete block?
Oh, steel stub behind
Still studded at the admin and then concrete block at the apparatus.
Well, and actually at where we've got the doors, they may do a cast-in-place concrete portal frame. Just because it gets a little bit challenging with that many openings, and with the arch, the structural engineers are looking at options. Maybe.
So there's a lot to hang of the buildings, I think we do 6 inches of estimation. 6 inches of exterior installation.
Rigid foam beyond the start? Or you're filling the cavity and putting
It's
And then, depending on the results of the energy model when we do it, we may have to add 2 inches of slats to cap in close to everything.
and then mineral wool?
And then minimal wall outside.
Our value would be
It's tough to meet the energy code, and so it's ramping up a bit, and I think it's
30.
Yeah.
Well, you have to do a model.
we are different.
for the commercial wall, windows, roof, slab, all
Everything,
those.
every product in this building is commercial. There's no residential products. So you don't build walls. You know, we don't put bad insulation in walls. All our insulation is on the outboard side. We have air vapor barriers to do. We have system for hanging is, you know, thermally broken. I mean, we have so many rules that we have to follow to build a building. But the point of this is that we are having protection. That was how it started this, but they are.
Well, I think we can convince Lisa not this one.
So is it possible that we can take these boards and the samples or have them available for our next meeting?
Oh, yeah. Sure. When is the chief? Chief?
Next Wednesday.
Oh, that's the, which meeting?
The 26th, 27th.
Is that the LCCA meeting, chief?
Yes, so the engineers,
Can you tell me what's the title?
they're reviewing the findings from the
Fire station building committee meeting on the 27th.
I know, but this is LCCA.
LCC, that's for the,
Is that the 27th? Would you let me see that again?
they have done the work.
I know. I thought this schedule, I lost track. I had like, I think I would have like,
I could do a pair.
second.
I'm not sure. But they just went, they had to get some clearance.
We have
Zoning board.
Stand for the master.
And then Wednesday, I think, is it the
And remember, we kind of
I meant to bring it.
Yeah, and this one better breaks up the side, makes it look two different heights.
When did you send it to?
I sent it to you on Monday.
I
I just sent it to you last week.
Would it first?
But see, look at, I mean, this is a really good, this is a really good
Oh, there's tons of writing here. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like that right better there. I just, what else are you going to do with that one?
So,
27th to the LCA review.
okay, yeah.
I was also going to put on there,
yeah. Okay.
is that okay? You like the color palette?
Yeah, so that's the big, the engineers are coming to that. So Amy, the 27th, don't get rid of that yet. The 27th is GGD.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they might want to talk about the cost estimate at that meeting. And then it's
Jake Jones over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I realized, Mark just reminded me that
He knew me from the meeting last night.
yeah. Oh yeah. What huge conversation retaining wall.
Oh, yeah, he was,
research on colors of the retaining wall.
So you can go say hi.
so, yes, so, yes, there's a pile. We'll give them at the end. So, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about the retaining wall.
yes.
So, these are 2,000-pound blocks, so I don't have samples. I have pictures. But we've been talking to
Guys, can you make a window? You're making a wall.
some local contractors who do these, and there are 3 textures that are commonly available for the walls, and that's what you see here is 1 block of each of these textures. So this is cobblestone, this is limestone, and this is ledgestone. The cobblestone and the limestone are the same cost. The ledgestone, there's a premium for that. And then color-wise, gray is standard, and that's the least cost. There are 2 different ways that they can color them if you do want to color them. One is with an admixture that gets put in the formwork before they pour the blocks. And so that's done by the manufacturers. That has a significant added cost to it, mainly because the manufacturers don't like doing it because it's a special run and it holds up all their equipment. They have to do it specially. You can also field apply a stain, but that's just a surface treatment. So it's a little bit less durable, but it is an option. I've got some images, and we do have these as handouts that we can show you of what these look like in place. So this is the cobblestone. And I think that in both of these cases, this one is definitely just the gray. This one I think is just the gray. I'm not, it's hard to tell.
window yet.
No. This is the limestone.
It's very plastic looking.
It's very, you can, if you look at the image up close, you can see the pattern repeating over and over and over
Like
again.
I put it here, then he turned it around, and it's not very
And then this is the ledgestone texture. And some of these are stained, or I don't know whether they're stained or whether it was put in the molds. It was an admixture, but they're colored. So you can get a sense of what the color looks like.
Is this next one?
Yeah. These are all lower walls too, so we wanted to give you a sense of, the fence. So you get a sense of what it looks like with a fence on top of the wall, which is what we would be
So that's
proposing.
the type of fence you're thinking?
It's not quite like that, no, but it's a similar concept. And then this is what the ledgestone looks like in a larger scale, just to give you a sense of.
It's stacked.
Yeah, in steps as it goes down, you can get a sense of the small blocks on the big wall. It's a different juxtaposition of the scales.
This is a good picture because one of the questions I had was the stepping process because you're going to be doing that.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
And and if in fact, what happens with this is it becomes kind of erratic. Now it looks like you've got the fences in the grass, so the fence is coming on an angle. But when you do this, you're going to back it up, and then the fence is also going to do that and have that jagged top.
I mean, we don't have to do it. The fence would sit behind the wall.
Yeah.
It sits behind the wall, but
it's not going to sit on the wall. So, I mean, what do you?
Well, the point
No, I
visually
understand.
when you're looking at things.
Yes.
I personally like it when it's level. When I see a step and a step and a step, I've never loved that. Even in fences, I would build the base of the fence up higher to make the top rail match.
Okay.
I think,
I think that's a better look.
The only problem with that, when the wall gets really low and the wall is really high, you can have a wall that's a fence that's 6 foot tall and one that's 20 foot tall to
Well,
match it.
that's
So you don't want to
true,
do
yeah.
that.
So you don't have a
You've
lot
got to
of
find a place.
But if, Mark, you've been asking, if we could take this piece of land out and bring it down to hillsides, take hillsides off, wouldn't that make a better look? Because you'd be working with just being one level.
I don't think
your
you
scope,
want.
we know, but
Well, I don't think you want to take that whole wall down because their retaining wall, remember, is it curves and it goes around, and once
don't
you
wanna
start
touch their
taking
wall.
pieces of
No.
their wall out, what are you doing to the rest of the wall? What if it starts to fall down?
I'm talking get rid of their wall too, so.
No, but their wall isn't just this piece of wall. It then turns and goes
right.
down.
In the back,
but if
it would have to, you knock out the corner, but there is a nice transition line up higher. It's about a third of the way with that back wall.
But I'm saying once you cut it somewhere, what happens on the other side that you want to keep? What if it's not stable anymore? What if you undermine the
I don't
the
think
structure
the wall is very
sometimes?
stable.
That's what I would have to pay for.
That'll be the town paying for the wall?
Their wall, we don't want to touch their wall.
don't wanna
If we
touch
touch
their
their wall and anything happens, we own it.
Town owns it. I don't think.
I'd say it's something beyond the scope of this project.
It's beyond
the
It's
scope.
something that would probably be beneficial. Yeah.
Anything else in there?
We should have brought a picture of the sidewalk.
The sidewalk's going to end up over there, right? We talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk a little bit about it, so.
I think taking ownership of that wall.
Well, I mean, the idea was fixing the problem for everybody. We can't do a sidewalk.
But it could connect to the street.
You don't. The concern with the sidewalk is because of their sidewalk is not on the street. It's all the way back up, and we can't build a new sidewalk.
Right.
So our sidewalk is determined.
If we build a sidewalk in front of it,
That's what,
obstructions going down there, there are catch basins in the way, there are sewer manholes in the way. But yet, I totally get, once I saw the pictures and I did a drive down the street and everything, I understand what you're saying.
back step
But there are a couple of different things that we're trying to balance. The reason we pulled our sidewalk back is because the design review guidelines say that you need soft scape, in front of the sidewalk. Theirs is, right up against the street, so we have that little angle going back. So ours comes in, and then we go along, and then we were connecting to what they have in place. And I get what you're saying, that at some point in time, you might want to continue down the street. So what we asked the engineers to do was to look at what the grading would be in that point. If in the future you were to make a connection, basically like fly out and connect on to keep going down the street. It's a little bit tricky with the grades right there, so they're looking to see if they can make that happen. If we pull it out to the street and we don't connect there, my fear is, you're going to have our sidewalk here and you're going to have their sidewalk here, and they're both going to it's going to look like a miss. It's going to look like
Somebody missed something.
somebody missed something.
Or you just notice them more. Or you just notice them more. Oh my God. They just panic and do stupid things.
Right.
Just keep it a straight line.
I'm driving this out. Okay, trying to meet the design review guidelines, we have to have that.
Well,
We
you
can't.
don't have to. It's just like every variance that you go through, they have that change. So that, to keep it straight.
control that, not us.
Right. So, I mean, it just, because I took some different.
Probably come back and rename it at some point.
I guess would it be easier for the DPW going forward? Come straight all the way across? Would it like?
It's easier for you.
The design review calls for it, but nobody else around has done it, so
Does
it's
the
like
DPW plow sidewalks?
downtown area.
That sidewalk's in the public
Up and
way.
down, yeah.
It's a public way though. It's on the public way. But if the sidewalk continues,
So this is, but it's lower here.
that doesn't connect to anything right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they probably plow like right in front of Vidia and they'll come across here. So I guess if it's DPW, it's easier to go straight with their plow and
That side.
Is it a sidewalk?
And the cars coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. Even if you just put it in.
I know design review calls for that. If everybody else is right left or straight, then you might want to
It's nice to have some protection.
It is, but
that's why it's there.
Yeah.
No one else did
here,
it.
they're not going to watch it.
Okay.
If you look
If we put it in here, we might have.
Is that sidewalk
I think
exists
one of the
with
challenges you're
design guidelines?
because of where that sidewalk was put and where the street line is and everything, and the way it's graded down, if you go to put a sidewalk at this level, you're probably going to have better filtration there.
But if it's just this one area, it does kind of make sense just to go straight and then jet up and out. And then there's more grass between the sidewalk and the building. Yeah. Well, I think we'd have to talk to DPW because it's more again like what is it?
So who plows? Is it the state who plows?
No, the
Main
town
Street?
plows.
This road here, I don't think so.
So the question for them
Does the state plow out here or do we plow out here?
So state plows this road, and the DPW has to come back and plow that the state put onto the sidewalk. So that's another reason to hold it back. But, I mean, it's a question. You said it's a question for
I would ask the DPW.
what their preference is.
I know in a perfect definitely want the grass strip.
It's not nailed down.
It's got to keep it together. We're going to make notes to
But that
record
wouldn't be
it.
your problem. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, before I had it out. That was actually really helpful.
It doesn't give anybody.
Yes, in Miami.
But I guess we can ask him.
We were walking Mark, as I mentioned.
Because right now,
Yeah, I don't know if everyone has, you might want to bring it up. Because they're,
oh, thank you.
we don't share handouts for meetings because people spend the full noses in the meeting to pay attention to what we say, and so it's a rule.
We will send this out.
I'm not trying to be a different I'll give one to Neil.
Yeah,
I'll give it to Neil.
You have one for Neil.
Yeah, I have one for Neil.
Of course not. I'm not Lisa. So you're thinking the brown? You're going to
Oh, yeah.
Would be helpful.
Hillside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it darker. Yeah.
Yeah, we go back. I think it's important, like, you can talk about the same.
I like a dark roof and then, but if we're not gonna have the beige,
And it's yeah, absolutely. But they don't necessarily do that all the time. But in the dorm though, they'll be in the dorms, they'll be
I did.
but I don't think
You guys are always sick in the town hall.
Jelly.
Oh, it's just funny. Well, it's not funny, but every time I'm like, oh my gosh, it's COVID. And you guys are so spread out.
We actually didn't have.
This one?
I started working there in August, actually. Right. I had to give mine away. Oh, it didn't. Sorry about that.
that's
That sidewalk is a straight shot. Okay, thank you.
I told them.
Go back.
I have to have stuff. He said they can work it either way. It's a straight shot that makes it easy for them to plow. So that's a sidewalk. But it's something you'd have to make sure. Driveways that. The sidewalk is that far, and then we'd have to have that as part of the state. We'd have to talk to the state.
Okay.
Did they now
Yeah, they plow up on that.
Because I can't get to the hillside.
I didn't ask him all that.
Okay.
Where else would you get?
So we have another meeting
Meeting on the 27th.
27th. We will review this and we're also going to do costs.
Two big things on the 27th.
the big thing in the meeting is the LCCA.
All right.
The engineers.
So the
the
engineers here
are
to talk
coming.
about that.
Life cycle cost analysis.
And then we'll do this. So those two things will be on the agenda, and then any cost items. So remember, I had asked you guys to send me anything specific so we can let them know.
So people knew and we'll take this stuff back to the fire station?
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll transport it
Yep.
to our next meeting.
Yep.
I think we're done for today.
Well, before you guys take off, there is something I have to talk to. Who's here from the community? Dan, you. So we're good.
We're all set. Thank you.